Hey, everyone ready for another drawing lesson? Today it's the letter D and I'm going to do dinosaurs. Two dinosaurs for you today. We're going to do a little baby one that's really cute and fun, and then we're going to do a fearsome Tyrannosaurus Rex. You ready? Pencils, let's go. We will start with my trusty pencil. This dinosaur is a little bit trickier than what I've done in the past, only because I have to make sure that I'm using my paper accordingly and that I have enough room to get the big dinosaur and the little baby dinosaur. So the baby's going to go here and the Tyrannosaurus Rex is going to go here somewhere. So let's start sketching. So I am going to start off with the eyes of the T-Rex, very, very lightly using my pencil. Give him a big furrowed forehead part. I think this is going to be trickier to see for all of you guys watching. And this is his mouth part, and then we want the nose. And the T-Rex was a big dinosaur, a very fearsome fellow. And this part of his mouth here, so this is his mouth. It's going to be filled with all those sharp teeth. I think this is coming along okay. And we'll do the ridges on his back. We know that the T-Rex has two very, very small hands considering the size of this dinosaur. Oh, hey R2. I knew you'd come along because you're not getting any attention, or is it to protect me from the dinosaurs, hey? Fun little one. It's always a pleasure to have you join our art club, as always. But I think in order for me to progress on and not waste these people's time, I'm going to have to ask you to sit this one out, all right? Hey, how does that sound? Ah, look what you're doing. You beautiful little animal. Off you go. So before R2 jumped up, our very own dinosaur, let's put the hairs all over the paper. We were talking about the dinosaur's hands. So they do have, although his claws were really sharp, he does have a very small hand. And I'm going to put the other finger, or the other part of the claw, just here. And we can add a little bit more detail later. Let's count in the front and the back simultaneously. So you want a little bit of his stomach in here. And that goes round like that. And then I want his other arm here, like so. And we'll do his little claws coming round. Like so. He's got nice small arms, two arms. And then his body. And the T-Rex has a really big leg. With one there, and the other one, just a bit of that leg here. And then we wanted massive feet, and here I'm going to draw his claws in as well. Same as the hands. And remember, our pencil allows us to rub out, so don't worry too much if you make any mistakes with your dinosaur. With this one here, it's going to be more shadowed, but we still want the same amount of detail. So we do the toes, with the claws. They're going to appear just behind. The thing that we're missing out, which I would have liked to have gone in, would have been the tail of the T-Rex. We can put a little bit of it here, and maybe we can have it so that it's swishing round. Yeah, so we'll cut the tail off under here, and then we'll bring the tail round here like so. Make sure the two of those match up, and then we're going to do the lines on the stomach of the T-Rex. And now we can start to put some of the detail in. So for starters, I want to give him some fearsome teeth. They had lots of teeth. I mean, he really was quite a scary creature. Obviously one behind here. Now the same with the back. So we want to see these teeth here, and then these teeth at the front. That makes him look really ferocious. And no dinosaur would be complete without a massive tongue, but the tongue is inside. So this is how we do a tongue. We do just like a little curve, and then we do another curve, and then we're going to put in like almost where the tonsils would be at the back of the mouth. So we'll do a little curve here and a little curve here. And then what we can also do is we can add a little bit of drool. Hey mister, what are you doing up here? You want a little bit of loving? You are so beautiful, aren't you, hey? I love when you interrupt my drawings, but as per usual, I'm going to put you down. Hey, he wants my pencil. He loves the pencil, don't you, Hank? I should give it to you so that you can do your own drawings. Imagine the mess we get in with those. Are you ready to come off? Right. Down you go. Sorry, little angel. Oh, I hope he hasn't offset things too much. No, get off! He's a terror. He's an absolute terror. But I do love him. He's a beautiful little cat. He's very cuddly. He loves us being at home. He really does. So we were putting the teeth in and a little bit of, let me say, a little bit of drool coming from the side just to make him look a bit more scary. We can even put a little bit of that on the top tooth as well. Let's flare out those eyes, and then let's make him look a bit more ferocious. So how I'm going to do that is we arch the brow up, so we make that more furrowed. Yeah, make him a little bit scarier. Now what we have to do with the T-Rex, as with all dinosaurs, is we have to put the scales in. But I think we'll do the scales after we've done the initial sketch. Now remember, I said we would do this fearsome fella, who's turned out okay, and then we're going to do like a little comedy dinosaur. And this one here, I thought I would do a Brontosaurus, just to offset it. And it's really cute because the Brontosaurus is quite a sweet little dinosaur. So baby dinosaur we're going to do. So we start off just with the little circle here. And remember, the Brontosaurus has a long neck and a little body. When you do little like cartoony versions of things, you make sure the body is smaller compared to the head. And he's going to have a little leg, and then they almost have feet like an elephant. And he's putting his little hand on his leg. And we do the nice little round belly, and then the other arm. And then the baby dinosaur wants really nice big eyes. and a little mouth, and the other leg. So we've got a little bit of perspective with our baby dinosaur, and also he wants a tail as well. So we're just going to give him a little tail, even though they had a big tail. As an adult, as a baby, he can have a smaller tail. And then what we'll do is we'll do the little egg that the dinosaur came out of, just as a bit of decoration. And then we will put a little bit of water around the dinosaur, just to complete that. We'll maybe give him a few little markings, just a few random shapes, little blobby shapes. Cute. And maybe the top of the eggshell where it came off. T-Rex, baby dinosaur, that will do it for now. Let's get outlining these in black. Felt tip pen time. So let's get the T-Rex's arms. And you can do the claws in this time. Body of the T-Rex. I've got those nice ridges to give them a bit of texture and detail. And arm number 2. And we're going to put quite a bit of detail in this dinosaur. There's his claw. Another little finger with a claw. Okay, leg. We'll make this a little bit almost scaly, I guess. We go with his feet. And then we'll do the big claw here. And you always do like this little round to show where the claw would be coming from. We make this one bigger because this is more close to the page. This is massive. Huge big dinosaur foot. Then we start to do the leg, working backwards. Here we go, top of the leg, top of the leg, and then here's where the tail starts to go round, joins up here, and the tail also joins up here. And let's round that off. I think I may have picked up the wrong black felt tip pen. I did. Here we go. This one here has got a lot more ink in it. This will make it darker. We want the outside of the tail. Just here like that. Let's put the lines in. Same as we've done here. We want this little bit of the body. I'm going to move on to the top of the head now and make this a lot more textured, a bit lumpy almost. And also his back can be more lumpy too. And what have we got to do next? We need this part of his mouth, this part of his jaw, and then we can start to do the head. He really is a scary looking dinosaur. Dinosaurs are, there are so many different dinosaurs you can choose to draw, and it's good as well as doing slightly more detailed ones, but to have fun with the design of the dinosaur and also with the colours as well. Let's get his sharp teeth in. Here we go. Just to finish him off, tooth there at the back, these teeth at the front. And then these teeth at the back here, you would see those. This is the other back of the mouth. This is where we're going to do the little tonsil bit. Here's his tongue. I'll put a few little dots on his tongue as well, just to give that a texture. And very carefully do the drooly bits. And we had a little bit of drool on that top as well. So his lip is snarling, we've got a snarl here. Then we have his nostrils, surround those off. And then remember we did this kind of menacing look on the eye. And to make that raised. So there we have the outline of our T-Rex style dinosaur. Let's put those little bits in here. Now we can move on and do our really cute little baby dinosaur. And what a contrast between the two. But it's really good to have fun when you're drawing your characters, especially when you've done a serious T-Rex. I think the little baby is very, very cute. There we are, his little elephant-y type nails, big belly, leg number 2, again with some of those nails. This is his little neck, and we can put another hand here, and then we've got the egg. And the top of the egg. Now these are going to be black, so I'm going to fill them in now. And we will be doing a little bit more shading today, more than we've done before. On this little pool, and nearly forgot the eyes. And then let's put the little white dot in, just to be the highlight. And there's our little dinosaur's nostrils. Remember yesterday I switched over from this thick black pen. I'm just going to go back in the right container, and then we switched over to a smaller pen, actually that was this one, to do some of the markings, because these are finer. And we just very lightly just do over these. And there, and then the nails, and the bottom of the baby dino's foot. I'm going to do some of these little shading lines. We haven't done these before, but if you've got just a normal pen or a black felt tip pen, then let's try doing some of these little dashes. This is a good way of adding in shadow, and you can do it for things that actually would be in shadow. So let's try a little bit on the Tyrannosaurus leg, and this is the back leg, or the leg that's furthest away from us. So you just very carefully do these lines. and they will give us a little bit more shadow. Now we will also have lines, but I'm going to do them a slightly different way here, because this part of the tail is going underneath the body, so that will also be a shadow. We would also have a little bit of shadow underneath the arm, so let's put that in. So these are super fine lines using a black pen or a felt tip pen. And don't worry about being too precise. I find that they naturally take the shape that you want them to take. We would also have some of these underneath the mouth, the bottom part of the mouth of the T-Rex. So all the way here and in between, and this is where we put the drool coming from his teeth. So we would have that here, like so. That's enough shading for now. Now we can start to think about a bit of background information. I always like to do the background parts. This is a fun way of bringing your picture to life and giving a scene. So for, I guess for the dinosaur, we should include a volcano and some big boulders, some big rocks. So let's put a big rock by the baby Brontosaurus. And these are just crude round shapes. That's good enough for a rock. I will put a little bit of a spiky plant here as well. And then we will include the volcano. So the volcano is going to be pretty massive. And that's going to be in the background. And then we want the volcano to look three-dimensional as well. So we will just give that some shape and some form. Now then, we can even have some lava inside there and some lava running down. So that is going to be really molten and glowing lava running down the jagged edge of the volcano. Just a few bits of that. We will put another mountain, I guess, behind the T-Rex, and we can include some little like palm tree. Palm trees are really easy, just a little stick made up of 4 sections, and then you just do the jagged leaves, the palm tree, and you can do 3 or 4 leaves coming off the palm tree. We'll do a few boulders here, a few little rocks, a bit more greenery. Where should we put that? Maybe a few bits of grass here, a little bit of grass here, and a little bit of rock here by the T-Rex. And I'm going to give the T-Rex a big shadow. A really big shadow here. I'll make that nice and dark when we come to it. So that's our little scene. We can do a few like eruptions from the volcano of lava. Let's get colouring in. So we're going to use a mixture of pencil crayons and crayons today. So for my T-Rex, now you can do your dinosaur whatever colour you like, and actually it's quite nice to mix some colours. So we can do that today. We'll have a play around with mixing some colours. So dinosaurs are grey brown, greeny brown, they can be blue grey. So have a look at some pictures of your dinosaur and then decide which colour you would like it to be. And remember, this is your dinosaur. I want you to get really creative. You don't have to copy the colours that I do, but think about what colour you would do a dinosaur. Because there's nothing wrong with having a pink dinosaur or a purple dinosaur. So I'm just going to lightly colour in the green here. I won't put any of the dark colours in just yet. Let's get a nice base colour because he is quite big. So a very light wash of colour. And the same underneath. So now if you look, remember where I did these little lines for shadow? See, it automatically makes this colour look like it's a darker green already, and it's not. That's quite cool, huh? We carry on just doing this green everywhere, filling in all the whites. This is a good colour, but actually, I always think dragons, which also begin with D, would be more green, but dragons can be fantasy colours because they are fantasy creatures. Let's do his little arm. And his claws. Nice and light. And we'll do the side here. Now, keeping this part here a different colour. Because that's his belly. The leg can be exactly the same colour. So, try if you can and do this in one go. You can feel how, I almost feel like my hand is like a machine really when I'm doing these parts. You get quick and you get fast, or you go nice and slow. I need to find the flat part of my pencil. Just do that part of the leg. Now we're doing the inner part. Go down to his feet, nice and light. And that little back part of the foot. Then this part, the toes. This is a good colour green. We want to do this back part here, which is where the tail is. And then we also want to do this part of the tail. The hand, or the other hand. And this leg, almost forgot. Again, you will see, look, this, the little black lines that we did for shading. It actually makes this green look as though it's darker than the other green. Very clever. I think that that is most of our dinosaur done, isn't it? I don't think I need any other parts that are green that I've missed off. I'm going to keep this green pencil out for the time being. Now let's add in a slightly different colour, and I think for this one here we will have a little bit of a light green. So I'm going to put the light green over the top of the dark green, just where I feel there would naturally be some light. So we would also have the light green here. as the leg goes around. Leave it here. We can certainly have some light green on the top of the tail and a little bit of light green on the top of this arm and the claws. And we'll have some light green here on this part of the face. Certainly some light green here. And also on the top of the head. We'll have some light green on this part of the body. A bit on this part of the foot. And around the claws. But only this foot. Not the other one. A little bit here where this crease is. And this crease. A little bit of detail here. Now I want a bluey, almost sort of like a bluey green colour. And I could use a bit of, I guess I could use a bit of purple, but I think this colour here is the colour that I'm after. And don't ask me why, because I think the dinosaur would have even had this colour in there. Maybe a little bit of a sandy brown would be better, but no, I'm going to stick with this light colour blue here. We are going to just put this just to add a little bit more variation in colour. And it kind of works really well with the green that we already put down. We'll just merge that in where we put the light green, just for a little bit more variation. A little bit of this light blue in between here, a little bit around the nostrils and the top of the lip. We'll have a little bit here. We'll definitely have a little bit of this going around the leg. And overlap it as well. I love to see what happens when you overlay coloured pencils, one on top of the other. Get some really, really beautiful shades. That'll look cool. We'll play around with this a little bit more. Now I'm going to go back to my dark green. And the dark green is where we will put a lot more of the shading in. So we'll do the enhanced shading on this fearsome creature. Side of the mouth. And the jaw would be much darker. And we will fade that up. We will also do this part here underneath the eye. Make that a little bit darker. And up above where the snout is, have a little bit more shadow. And these little creases, and around this part here of the mouth. We will do a little bit more of the dark green here as well on the underside of the arm, just to give it more detail. And we will do a lot of the dark green here on this inner part of the outer arm, and also underneath. We can also put a little bit more here, so we'll add a little bit of shadow in here. Oops. Until I'm pressing too hard when my table rocks and it makes that knocking sound. And we will also put the green around the toes here, just because these will be in a lot more shadow than the other leg, so it's a slightly different colour. You see, a little bit more, and a little bit more on the outside here as well. Definitely on the bottom of the foot, for sure. And on that toe there. Now this should be quite a bit darker, the tail bit. leading up into a light part. So if you can, try and fade and blend this. Just get lighter with your pressure as you go up to connect the two together. Make it nice and dark here. And we will also have a little bit dark here, a little bit of shading just on this part of the body. Just blend that into there. And a little bit here. He's coming along quite nicely. He does look ferocious. So that's our colour, or my colour palette for here. But you could use browns and oranges, would look really amazing for the T-Rex. Now we need to do his underbelly as well. Now for this, I think I will use a yellowy shade. So let's just get that in here. And this is going to be a very light wash of colour. So not too strong. And we're going to leave a little bit of this white. So let's concentrate on doing these areas here. And then we'll start again on the other side of his belly. Now remember, the leg is in the way for a part of that, so we're not going to see too much of it. And then we will do this part yellow, and then the top part yellow. But I'm going to get very light, hardly any pressure at all, to make this centre part look or remain white. So nice and light. This is adding a little bit more dimension to our dinosaur. Just on that belly area, this bit can be yellow. I just realised I didn't rub out any of my pencil marks today, did I? But for you that have been following, you'll understand that that's something that you can do. Now let's do the same again for the tail. We are going to leave a little part in the middle of each section white. So same principle, stronger on the outside, going all the way around this time, and then as you get closer to the centre, just keep it nice and soft to leave a little bit of white. That's a bit of highlight, just to give our chap, our dinosaur, more dimension. And the white part is representing light, so that's where the light would naturally hit the tail if it was twisting up, and if the light was overhead. And here we'd have less of it, and here it's not going to be light at all. So here we can make the yellow slightly stronger because it's in shadow. Yep. And a little bit of darker here to connect the two together. Now then, I think I will use the yellow on the claws as well. And we're going to do the same kind of thing. I'm going to press really hard on the claw, but leave a white part to make the nails look sharp. See? This is quite easy. Just press really firmly down and just leave that part in the middle white. And we do the same with the claws for the dinosaur. One claw. These ones are hidden. This one here is on show. This one here we can see, so nice and dark. This one here we can see, and this one here we can see as well. The teeth could also do yellow, why don't we? And again, one side only of the teeth. Not both sides, just one side in yellow. Top as well. We'll do the outside. outside. Now these teeth are going to be in shadow, so the colour I'm going to use for that is beigey browny colour, which is here. So if you don't have this sort of shade, then just pick a brown and just colour it in nice and light. This is a good shade for doing those kind of things. It's also good for doing a little bit of shadow on the claws for the underneath side, if you have it. Let's do the inside of our T-Rex's mouth. So we want two different colours here, a very, very dark red and a light red. So we'll do the dark red first. Just to fill in. And here's our dark red just at the sides. And don't forget, we also have that tongue to do as well. So that's our dark red. And then we go in with a much lighter red, which is here, for the inside of the mouth. Make that a little bit darker, just above the tongue. So press harder. And then I'm going to go for a pink tongue. Why not? And that's his tongue. And careful in between the teeth. So just two reds and a pink. I'm going to put a little bit of that dark red just here, down by where these teeth would be. Now then, for his drool, if you do have a light blue or a grey, then that would be a good colour. Just to outline, again, very similar to how we did the claws, just a little bit of grey or blue. Let me show you with a light colour. Blue, is this my lightest blue? It is indeed. So you could put a little bit of blue here, just to be like the drool. Blue is a colour that we associate with like water. When we're doing water, we always do it blue. So we will put that here. Now, what about his eyes? I think that the T-Rex should have yellow eyes, but I believe we need to make them really dark. So let's add a little bit of dimension in here as well, as we did with the claws. So we'll press really hard and leave a little bit of white light right in the center here. And then I can go back in with my felt tip pen, my trusty felt tip pen, and draw the line of his eye. Now, here's another little technique that I want to show you as well, which can be fun. You can get really engrossed in doing this. So I'm going to use a felt tip pen. So now remember, dinosaurs had sort of like textured, lumpy, almost scaly skin. So how do we do that? So I am going to use my felt tip pen to mark out these scales. So we're giving the dinosaur a lot more texture. If you don't have the felt tip pens, don't worry, do it with your pencil crayons. So they're just little circles, or not even circles, like, again, C shapes, in all different sizes. Now you can make them a bit more jaggedy and pointed if you want, depending on how you want your dinosaur to look. And for those of you that love the detail, you can do a mixture of small ones. Look at these tiny little ones. Really, really small circles, just to give the dinosaur his textured skin, in amongst the big ones. So make them bigger as they go out to the body, and smaller as we go in. And this will give us our texture for our fearsome T-Rex. And you just keep going over the whole of the body. So if you love drawing, this would be a dream, because you get really engrossed and kind of mesmerized by what it is that you're doing. So on the bottom, we're not going to do the circles, we are going to do ridges. So just a few lines, bending one way and then bending the other way to make that look more texture. So it's like three one way and then three the other, and that will give you the texture. And I'll show you on the top of the mouth as well. So we go 1, 2, 3, and then we do 3 the other way. So curve, curve, curve one way, curve, curve, curve the other way, and then keep doing that. Right, and the nostrils would be the same. We want to just do these little shapes to give you the texture here. These are slightly flatter, so they're not as round as we've done them here. It does look effective. The lines we will also do for the brow. So do them one way and then swap and do them a different direction. Left and right. A few of these little circles on his forehead, and then a few little circles, much smaller circles around the nose. And when you see them all together, they do look rather effective. You know, you think you've got dinosaur scales here. So keep going. Small scales on the arm. I think you get the picture. I don't think you need me to show you all of it, because we will be here forever. So you can start to do this, and I would urge you to go back and do it. So remember, bigger ones. So on the leg, actually I can show you on the leg. Let's do bigger ones, because you would have bigger, but then they go smaller. So big here, and then make them slightly smaller as we go further into the leg. And then we can also do bigger on this side, because they would be bigger. And then you meet in the middle with your small scales. So you see what we're doing? And keep on going. On the foot, these would be really, really small scales. So you can actually make them circular if you like. That will keep it nice and easy, because you can do these fast. Just little circles. Very, very tight. Right next to each other. And they will go up and they will meet the big sections we've done on the leg. So fill in the whole of the foot here. I'm not going to do that for you. And then the same kind of principle here, just smaller ones using the nice dark green. You could, if you wanted to, Even try doing these in black, because if you have a black felt tip pen and you don't have a green felt tip pen, you can do them in black. It really doesn't make any difference at all. In fact, it looks quite effective in black, if I'm honest. It's really good. So you get the gist. This is how we're going to leave our T-Rex. Do have a play around with doing all the different scaly effects on your dinosaur. I'm going to move over and do the baby Brontosaurus now, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with this little baby. So I'm going to do him purple. I want to do him a purple colour. So let's give him a very light wash of purple. I don't think I've ever seen a purple Brontosaurus before. But you could do him any colour you wanted. Leave his belly. His belly would be a different colour. I keep saying his. Could be a girl Brontosaurus. And when you're doing this at home, this would be the one I would say, right, you guys show me your different colour variations on this beautiful, cute little baby dinosaur. I have seen people share their works of art, but I would love to see a lot more. And I'd like to hear your comments as well, either on the YouTube page or on the Facebook page. You've got a choice of where to post your artwork. The ones I have seen have been absolutely beautiful. And I do love seeing people's work, I really do. It makes me feel so good. Let's get some shading in with the same colour purple, the same as we did with our previous pictures. We're going to go underneath baby Brontosaurus's arm to make that darker. The tail, the underneath of the tail, all of the underneath has to be really dark. The underneath of this leg has to be dark, and the inside of that leg has to be dark. We'll see if we can make these even darker, even though we've got our shading lines, and also a little bit of shade here. We want some shade underneath his little head, and a little bit of shade underneath those beautiful eyes, and a little bit on the mouth as well. Now for his little markings, those are going to be red. I'd already decided that. I was originally going to do him grey because I thought that would be a little bit more realistic, but he doesn't look realistic, so he doesn't have to be. Purple's just good enough for me. I'm shaking my table and I don't want to affect the way you see it. Got a few more of these to do. Doing the colour nice and strong. And a little bit there. And here. And the little tail. Okay, this is looking nice. I need to do the toes. Now, what colour shall I do the toes? I am going to do them this lovely bright blue colour. And these are so small, if we had them bigger, I would say leave a little bit of white in there, but we can't. And then the colour of the belly is going to be yellow. So I want it to be nice and light yellow at this part of the belly, the outer part of the belly, and the inner part of the belly, it's going to be darker. Just to give that a little bit more dimension. The colour of the egg can be that really strange colour brown. but you could also do it grey if you don't have a brown. So that's the eggshell. And this one here, I'm going to press a little bit harder to make that darker because it's in shadow. It's behind the other one and it gets lighter. So a little bit of detail here. Now how about we go in with our black felt tip pen again, the smaller one, or the finer one, and do some little spots on the egg to make that a little bit more fantasy based. There we are. Let's just finish off his eyes, make them a bit darker, a little bit blacker, or her eyes. And then you've just got the scenery and the shadows to do. So I will just quickly go in with a little bit of black. I want you to see the importance of a shadow. We haven't done it with any of our characters so far, but the T-Rex would definitely cast a massive shadow. So you see where I did this thing that almost looks like water. So I'm going in with a black crayon, very carefully, just to give the shadow of the T-Rex. So this is the shape that he would make, and it is a shape. If we had a bigger piece of paper, you would see that the shape actually resembled the T-Rex. So it also goes behind here. It's going to be darker. A little bit more pressure. Could do this with a felt tip pen as well, just for speed. For me, I'm using the pencil crayon. I hope I haven't moved that too much for you. So this is the shadow of our T-Rex, right down to the bottom of the page, and then we're going to do the shadow of our little baby Brontosaurus. So remember, darker, much darker as you get closer to the baby Brontosaurus, and then lighter. A bit darker here because it's closer to the subject, and then lighter as we go out. So that's our shadow. So if you think about it, in the sunshine, if you want to escape from the sun, you sit underneath the tree because the tree gives you a little bit of shade. It's exactly the same thing as what we're doing here. It's the parts that would be underneath the creature that we're doing would be more shadowed. Actually, no, looking at him, you could make this a little bit darker, the same as we have done before. As we get closer, a bit like we did with the Brontosaurus, make this darker. It will make it look a lot better, especially with his feet. There, that's more like it. He's looking good. So I will quickly draw the outline of the rocks. And I'm going to show you how I would shade in the rocks. So you remember, your backgrounds can include whatever they like. And it's easy to find images of what the landscape looked like in prehistoric times. You can do a quick Google search. So these are our rocks. Now I'm going to just quickly draw this here. This is the underneath of the rock. And on this side here. And this is where we're going to add a different colour. few little blades of grass. Let's put that volcano in. Now the volcano would be grey for sure. We had a few rocks here, didn't we, as well? Yeah, there we go, a few rocks. And let's do that colour underneath as well. We'll do the same with these ones here. Let's put a little line. Oh, and our tree. Forgotten about that. A little palm tree. So palm tree, you know, leaves will be green, bark will be brown. Let's do the outside of the volcano. And this part here, and this part here, but not all of it. So let me quickly do a light wash of colour using a grey pencil, and we'll do a light grey for this. And I'm just going to do a very, very quick wash, avoiding where we've done the lava. Because we really want the lava to be a standout colour. If you've ever seen a volcano when it erupts, it's quite spectacular. And the colours are so bright. Like a lovely bright orange and red, and a bit of yellow. So just very crudely, I'm colouring this in. You take your time at home because there is no rush. If you want it to be a masterpiece, it must be better than my one. And you can be more careful when you're colouring in. So let's just go in between these areas of lava. And on the outside of the volcano. Okay, that will do for now. Now, we're going to have a lot of fun. Felt tip pens are definitely the way to go when we're doing our lava. And make sure you've got a good selection of reds, oranges and yellows. These are going to be absolutely brilliant for doing this. Thick and thick pens, thick and thin ones. Let us do the outside line in red. A little bit on the top, where the volcano is erupting. And we have a few more coming down here, like so. Outline them in red first. And I love how it's blobby, gloopy, thick how it runs over. And you can even do some of these little, you'll see them, they're almost like little veiny lines in the red. Let's get that orange in. So the orange goes inside the red. Try to get it inside, try not to do it on top of the red. Let's change it over to a different orange. So you can really see that. Yeah, this is a thinner felt tip pen, so it's actually better for this. So you've got the red outline, the orange on the inside. This is like making it look really hot, super, super hot. Let's do a few more of these. We want the orange there. we want the orange on the inside as well. Now, if you look at lava, it is molten and it's quite textured. It's not smooth. So we will leave these little holes as we're filling the inside of the volcano in. Let's just do these two. And then we'll finish off with just adding a little bit of yellow in there as well, just to give it that horrible molten fiery effect. There we go. And the yellow can go over both the red and the orange felt tip pen because it's the lighter of the two colours, so it does look really effective. It looks really fiery and quite dangerous, which volcanoes are. And that's how I would do the lava. For your rocks, very, very simple technique, the same as what we've done before. Now you can either use a black and a grey pencil, or you can use just a regular pencil, because they're grey. So we are just going to do, I'll show you on one of them. Let's do this one here on the outside. We will just lightly fill in this part of the rock with the darkest grey. And we'll just do that whole rock. Nice and sketchy, so we give it that texture. Don't worry if you go over this line here, and then this line here is going to be, this part of the rock is going to be much, much darker. So you can try your rocks can be any colour they want, absolutely any colour. Just remember, one part of the rock is light, the underside of the rock is dark. And you'll do that for all the rocks in exactly the same way. Same one for the small ones, dark on the bottom, dark on the bottom, and then a lighter colour on the top. And that shading just gives it more dimension. I will probably do my floor, or this colour, this bottom colour, I would make that sandy. So again, like a light sort of sandy brown. Similar colour to the way we did the egg. And that's the land. And you can also, you could even press harder on this and do a few of those pebbles in exactly the same colour. And then we've got a few of the green plants. Actually, let's do these in a felt tip pen, just to give more depth of colour. And this little one here. You can even do two different colour greens if you prefer. This is a nice strong green. One bit on the back. And there we have it. I'm going to leave it right here. I could keep going forever and ever, and I will do once this video is ended. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to finish it off, and I'll post a picture of what my finished dinosaurs look like. But I really hope that you've enjoyed this sketch. This is D for Dinosaur. Have fun with it, change the colours, be really, really creative, and don't forget, post me your finished designs so I can put them up on the site. Have fun, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.